I was around 13 when I first started getting into fandom culture. Back then, there were two main fandoms I was a part of, Five Nights at Freddy's and Homestuck. These two series basically shaped my early teens and made a noticeable impact on my interest from back then. Hell, my highest performing video as of right now is a remix of a FNAF song. As I grew older, I fell off of Five Nights and Homestuck. FNAF just got too complicated, and Homestuck ended. Kinda. As an adult, these series keep popping back up from time to time. Five Nights I fell off of hard because of the aforementioned complicated lore, alongside some controversies and middling games. But the allure of Homestuck came back recently. I got nostalgic and listened to some of my favorite tracks, and I got a bit too hasty and downloaded the Unofficial Homestuck collection and started a reread. All 8,000 pages of it. If you're reading this and you don't know what the fuck a Homestuck is, Homestuck is a 2009 webcomic created by Andrew Hussey and was a follow-up to his previous webcomic, Problem Sleuth. Homestuck is more than just a comic though. There is animations, music, gameplay, and other forms of multimedia goodness. It is a story about four kids who all start playing a big game together and shenanigans ensue. There is this big joke that Homestuck is a cursed artifact of intense, complicated proportions. It is, but also it really is just a multimedia comic that has a lot going for it. The Kingdom Hearts of webcomics, if you will. This video is probably not a review of Homestuck, nor is it a retrospective. I feel like I cannot do this thing justice, and this video would be much, much longer. But it's definitely an adjacent to a review or retrospective, but this is more of a mad rambling of a guy who was bored enough to revisit his childhood. And maybe I'll put something about why I think Homestuck may or may not hold up. But at the very least, I get to waste however many minutes this video is while you do laundry or eat or something. Also, if you're reading or are planning on reading Homestuck for the first time, there will 100% be big spoilers in this video. You have been warned. So first off, how does one read Homestuck in 2023? Well, back in 2015 I used mspaintadventures.com like how God intended. But unfortunately it redirects you to homestuck.com nowadays, which is not hit as hard. Homestuck.com is the official place to read it. The new site is broken as shit. So, in 2017, one of the worst companies of all time, Adobe, announced that they were stopping support of Flash Player and everything that relied on Flash would no longer play after 2020. This was a dick move of untold proportions, not seen again until people started to attack the Internet Archive and the trash person who runs Twitter started vying for attention. Uh-oh. Homestuck's most memorable and important moments are all Flash animations. Someone should do something about this. Well, in 2016, the last 3 animations were all videos. So the goal is by the end of the life of Flash, replace all Flash animations with either videos or HTML, so the clock was ticking. In 2018, they chose to replace most of the Flash animations with videos. Not just videos, YouTube videos. And there are a few one-off animations that I believe are HTML. A few of the later games are HTML. So that's it, huh? The thing should be fine to read, right? Nope! Unfortunately, due to the format change, there are many unintended consequences. All fourth wall breaking flashes, gone. Any interactive elements, gone. Most of the games, either videos or done in a choose-your-own-adventure book style. Hell, there are some flashes that are missing entirely, like the famous ride animations. Alongside those problems, I'm not sure if this is just a me problem due to my monitor, but there is an anomalous black box on the side of the site that I cannot get rid of. It is so distracting. So the website is out of the question. How else can you read it? Well, if you head over to your local bookstore, they have made a couple Homestuck books. They don't even cover half of the series. Not to mention how the format change doesn't allow music, animation, or gameplay to be conveyed, and the author commentary spoils the story for new readers. I would, however, recommend these books to Homestuck fans, as I believe they are personally some really fun collector's items. Well, the official side is out of the question, and also the books. How do you read the damn thing? Well, this is where the ridiculously talented fandom comes into play. Around the time of Homestuck 2, we'll get to that, Bambosh, Javon H., and a bunch of other fans created the Unofficial Homestuck collection, a project that served to archive the comic and all other material related to mspaintadventures.com, Homestuck, and those who created it, and put it in a little package that is easily the best way to read the comic, no question. All the flashes are preserved in their regular form, so all the fourth wall breaks and Easter eggs are preserved. There are add-ons that can add and change things. It is so good. I will link it in the description below. The Unofficial collection was how I reread it this time around. So, as for my actual opinions of the content inside of Homestuck, as a 21-year-old in 2023, I should actually talk about the contents of Homestuck, huh? As I said before, Homestuck is about 4 kids, Egbert, Rose Lalonde, Dave Strider, and Jade Harley, who all start playing a new game called Spurb together. Homestuck is split up into acts, and there are 7 acts, with the biggest asterisks imaginable attached to that. For a good chunk of the first half of Homestuck, everything that was to happen was determined via user commands submitted through the MSPA forums. That is even how the main characters' names were chosen. The first 2 acts are introductory acts, where we learn about the main characters, the world, and through the post-apocalyptic nature of Spurb through inventory management shenanigans. Act 3 is where shit starts to get real as we learn a lot more of the cosmic aspect of Homestuck and learn more about our main characters. These first 3 acts have a unique simplicity to them that still feels unique even to this day a little bit. After the 3rd act, we get our first of many intermissions. I really like this one, and it introduces us to the Midnight Crew. Act 4 is very close to peak Homestuck. This has some of the biggest heavy hitter animations in the entire series, like Jack Ascend, Descend, Reunite with your loving wife and daughter, and not to mention the first peek at the trolls. Act 5 is the best act in my opinion. The first act of Act 5 is all about the new troll characters. Karkat, Terzi, Kanaya, Solux, Nepet, Equius, Fefri, Eridan, Aradia, Gamzee, Tavros, and Lady Edelgard herself, Vriska. Their introduction, I feel, brings the biggest paradigm shift in tone and writing, because up until now, there wasn't any huge spanning lore or uber-intensive world building. The trolls brought out all of that alongside some extra character that really stands out. Act 5 isn't even done by then. There's also Act 5, Act 2, which rounds out what we've seen so far and introduces new concepts like god tiering, and then tops off the amazing act with the best animation in the series, Cascade. The comic after Act 5 has its own unique feel to it, starting with Act 6, which is actually close to like 20 acts, but I digress. Act 6 is where the rest of the comic lives. We see the Alpha Kids, Jane, Jake, Dirk, and Roxy, as well as the Before Us trolls. Mina, Arnea, Damara, Rufio, Horus, Cronus, Lachel, Matuna, Porum, Yulin, Kurlaz, and Kankri, who are all actually the answers of the beta trolls. Oh yeah, I forgot about the ancestors. Most of them are just lore, but there's also her Imperious Condescension, who's a big badass Empire lady who maybe works for Lord English. Oh god, I forgot about Lord English. I've been dying to tell you about Lord English, who's actually a cherubim, which you know 2 of, Calliope and Caliborn, and then there's the Trickster shenanigans, which is really fun. I have named a strange festive force of nature after this part, because it was funny. A bunch of stuff happens, we get the Alpha Kids god tiered, and then game over happens, everyone fucking dies, and we get to the retcons, which are actually quite controversial I've come to learn. I kinda like the concept, I can only imagine what it was like reading live. And then the rest of the act is the Vriska act. We get the best character Dave Pita, Terzi remembers and I fucking cry, and then it all culminates in the next best animation in the series, Collide. And this paragraph, much like Homestuck itself, ends kinda quickly when more could have been done. Act 7 is the final animation and the ending of the comic, and don't get me fucking started on Homestuck 2 and the epilogues. The words I have about the epilogues in Homestuck 2 can fill an entire video in and of itself. Here is the first intermission of the video. As I was rereading the comic, I had to make the tough decision to try and rank the top 15 animations based on their visuals and music. This was a very hard list to make. This was originally a top 10, but there were some I just felt so bad leaving off. Also, the rankings barely matter because I kept revising the list so many times that I would never get this video out. 15, WV Ascend, 14, Make Her Pay, 13, Terzi Remember, 12, Wake, 11, Act 7, 10, Jack Ascend, 9, Enter, 8, Prince of Heart Rise Up, 7, John Reunite with Your Loving Wife and Daughter, 6, Caliborn Enter, 5, Jade Enter, 4, Game Over, 3, Descend, 2, Collide, 1, Cascade. And that was my list. I already regret leaving some things off of the list, but what can you do? Intermission over. Speaking of regret, I forgot to talk about Hive Swap. Honestly speaking though, all of the post-comic content, Hive Swap, Friendsum, and Pester Quest are legitimately good. It is great to see brand new characters and also catch up with the characters we already like. Hive Swap may still exist, somehow. The situation is still evolving. I feel like the situation has been evolving for eons at this point, considering it starts way back to the first Kickstarter controversy. But I digress. I believe that the games are great additions to the Homestuck mythos. So now that is all the official Homestuck content vaguely mentioned as of the time of me writing this, except for one big aspect of it, the music. Pardon me, but I believe that the music is the single best and most unique aspect of Homestuck. Hundreds of songs and like 30 official albums have been made based on the series. It helps that all of the music is made by some of the most talented composers out there, including people like Toby Fox and James Roach. Of course, this had to be hindered in some way. Around the time of the other shenanigans with the Homestuck website, many of the albums were taken off of the official Bandcamp and others were combined into mega albums. And some that weren't were put on the artist's own Bandcamp pages. This wouldn't be so bad, but they're albums you cannot get legally anymore. And one fun aspect of the original Bandcamp layout was how basically each track on every album had unique art. This no longer applies to the new Bandcamp page. Luckily, the fans coming to save the day yet again, the Unofficial collection has the original Bandcamp layout, and the Homestuck Music Wiki has anything and everything you could want to know about the music of Homestuck. If you have made it this far and have not read Homestuck or interacted with it in any way, at the very least, I would recommend listening to the music. Intermission 2. I am just killing time at this point to make the video longer. Anyways, the Homestuck community, as I mentioned before, is endlessly talented. From fanart, fanfiction, cosplay, and basically any other fan-made thing you can think of, the Homestuck fandom has created a large variety of everything and anything. Hell, even I got in on it. I had a fan troll. I made some other fan art as well. I was there. The main reason I wanted to bring up the fan base and its endless creativity is just that I think Homestuck has some of the most talented fans out there. There are a lot of amazing and cool popular fan works like Rex Do It as Angeles, an amazing animation, cool and new webcomic, one of the more popular fan ventures, any of the Lands of Fandom music albums, and Detective Pony. It is Kino based, as the kids say. Back to the main topic. Homestuck isn't all there is to Homestuck. There's also the supplementary material, starting with Jailbreak. This was the first MS Paint adventure, which was the comics preceding Homestuck. It is a quaint little comic about a person breaking out of jail. Bard's Quest is the second MS Paint adventure. This one was never finished. And before Homestuck, there was Problem Sleuth. I did not reread this for this video, so I'm going off of pure memory from when I read it the first time. It is about a group of PIs who are fighting a superpowered mafia. This is definitely more Homestuck-esque because of all the nonsense and hilarity. All of these previous MS Paint adventures are all pretty okay, if a bit dated. There's also the Homestuck Beta, which is the initial concept of Homestuck, another cute novelty. Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff is an in-universe comic that was made, its own standalone thing, and it is pure art. Outside of those, I have no experience with any other Huzzy work, so I can't give an opinion. I have heard they did not age well at all. The only other piece of official supplementary material that, from what I can tell, is Paradox Space, a series of comics about the characters in Homestuck getting up to all kinds of shenanigans and tomfoolery. Another cute read. Intermission 3, the final intermission. Homestuck has had some merchandise over the years. I own a good chunk myself. I have the Viz hardcover books, except for the final one and the epilogues. I have a Jade figure, and also some shirts, a print, and a calendar from the old 4Fans By Fans website. 4Fans By Fans used to be the hub for all the Homestuck merchandise. It was all stuff made by fans or heavily involved fans. They not only had shirts and prints, but body pillows and plushies as well. I really wanted to get the Skellmate and Mare plushies before it shut down. And if that concept sounds great, but could have some problems, you are probably right, because from what I know, they handled royalties quite poorly. Anyways, 4Fans By Fans got bought out by Good Smile, everything got shut down except for the Valve store, and they don't even have the decency to give us a Homestuck Nendoroid. Shaking my damn head. There's also quite a few other books released, like a few paperbacks of Homestuck, as well as Problem Sleuth also having a full paperback series. One of the coolest Homestuck-related things in recent years was one of the things that got me reading Homestuck again, the Requiem Cafe collaboration. It was a Homestuck-themed cafe that started on 4/13 and ended on 4/30/2023 that gave us official character heights, new art, fun-themed foods, and new merchandise. This was such a cool thing, and seeing all the Homestucks were able to attend it and all the hype around it was amazing, including the dubbed comics and live performances, which were amazing. I never got to go because I live almost as far away from it as you can get in the US, so it was out of the question, so I lived vicariously through funny tweets and Tumblr posts. Official merchandise is not the end-all be-all of Homestuck merchandise. The fans have been making so much merchandise, selling it on their personal stores and sites. If you want some Homestuck merchandise, I would support your local artist. So now that I have laid out all there is to Homestuck, I should answer the question I posed when I decided to make this. Why? And does it hold up? Well, to answer the first one, nostalgia is a hell of a drug, and seeing it again wakened something back in me, something primal, and it made me question something. Is Homestuck one of my comfort series? It is the only comic run I have reread fully multiple times. I listen to the music a lot, the characters are ingrained in my psyche, and I always reference it. I know I can return to something related to it if I need to relax. I think this might be a comfort comic. Is it even right for this to be a comfort series? There are some problematic elements, and the people behind it have been up to some shit in the past. Due to me getting into it as a kid, am I immature for liking it now? Is it even a comfort series? Do I just like it ironically? Is it the sunk cost fallacy? Do these questions make sense? Can a guilty pleasure comfort series even exist as a concept? Like, do those words still have meaning when placed next to each other? Well, I guess you know what they say. You don't pick your comfort series picks you. As for the last question, does Homestuck hold up? I think I might have answered this already, but still I feel like even though it is something I have a lot of bias for, can I in good faith say it holds up? I do believe that Homestuck holds up to an extent. Whether or not Homestuck holds up is something I feel that I'm not sure even really matters. If you're an existing fan, then the series is malleable and you can turn it into whatever you want it to be, and it is even encouraged at points. And for new readers, well, the comic is quality. It did not become popular for no reason. It has great characters and enough stuff put into it where you can get something out of it. But due to the amount of baggage that comes with the comic, some genuinely problematic uncomfortable elements had to be scratching my head back then, and especially now, the crushing length of the comic, the drama and vibes around the series, and the complicated way to access it, I don't really think I would recommend it. It's definitely a your mileage may vary situation. As I said, I can't tell if you would enjoy reading Homestuck for the first time or not. nor can I say if you would enjoy it if you're a returning fan coming back to it. Everyone is different. This video ended up turning into basically a therapy session to reconcile my relationship with a goddamn webcomic. So if you have left Homestuck behind you for any reason, do what you think is right. Don't let some asshole on the internet try to tell you to do something you don't agree with or don't want to do. I don't know quite how I managed to turn this into a make your own opinion message, but it's true. To wrap things up, upon returning to the webcomic Homestuck as an adult, I still like it. I don't know if I would recommend it to others, nor am I sure if I would recommend it to returning fans of the series who fell off of it. I feel like it is something that changes from person to person, and whatever you take away from this video is up to you. If you have gotten this far, thank you. I really appreciate it. This video was a lot of work and I am super proud of it. I started working on this video as I was finishing up the comic. In the future, I hope to make a proper retrospective of not just Homestuck, but all MS Paint Adventures projects, Hussey Works, and other things of that nature. In the meantime, consider giving this video a like, or hey, if you want to see other content similar to this, content that is mainly just me rambling about a topic on my mind, maybe consider subscribing, and I'll see you around.